A 1794 sketch of Eli Whitney's cotton gin, revolutionizing agriculture by speeding up cotton processing. A 1821 illustration of Michael Faraday's first electric motor, laying the groundwork for electromagnetic technology. A 1877 photograph of Emil Berliner holding the first practical microphone used for telecommunication. A 1923 image of the Leica I, the first commercially successful 35mm camera, changing photography forever. A 1935 photograph of Robert Watson Watt testing the first radar system, crucial for modern aviation and defense. A 1969 image of the ARPANET, the precursor to the modern Internet, transmitting its first message. A 1973 photograph of Martin Cooper holding the first mobile phone prototype, introducing the concept of wireless communication. A 1839 photograph of Louis Daguerre showcasing the daguerreotype, the first publicly available photographic process. A 1879 image of Thomas Edison presenting the first practical electric light bulb in his Menlo Park laboratory. A 1895 photograph of Wilhelm Röntgen discovering X-rays, revolutionizing medical imaging. A 1908 image of Henry Ford with a Model T, the first affordable automobile produced on an assembly line. A 1945 photograph of the Manhattan Project scientists testing the first atomic bomb in New Mexico. A 1960 image of Theodore Maiman operating the first working laser, a breakthrough in optical technology. A 1981 photograph of IBM's first personal computer, the IBM 5150, marking a new era in computing. A 1769 sketch of James Watt's improved steam engine, revolutionizing the Industrial Revolution. A 1827 drawing of Joseph Nicephore Niepce's first photograph, considered the earliest surviving image captured by a camera. A 1885 photograph of Carl Benz with his motor wagon, the first practical automobile. A 1920 image of the first commercial radio station, KDKA, broadcasting in Pittsburgh, pioneering mass communication. A 1947 photograph of the Bell X-1 aircraft, the first plane to break the sound barrier. A 1957 image of the Soviet Union Sputnik, the first artificial satellite to orbit Earth. A 1983 photo of the first prototype of the Apple Lisa, introducing the graphical user interface to personal computers. A 1876 photograph of Alexander Graham Bell demonstrating the first telephone, marking the start of voice communication technology. An 1888 image of Nikola Tesla working in his New York laboratory, testing his early AC, alternating current electrical systems. A 1903 photograph of the Wright brothers' first powered flight at Kitty Hawk, showcasing the invention of modern aviation. A 1927 image of the first successful television transmission by John Logie Baird, revolutionizing global communication. A 1942 photograph of the Enigma machine in use during World War II, highlighting its role in cryptography and code breaking. A 1971 image of the first microprocessor developed by Intel, laying the foundation for modern computing. A 2007 photograph of Steve Jobs unveiling the first iPhone, marking a major shift in smartphone technology. A 1955 photograph of a woman in Paris sitting at a cafe, reading a book while sipping espresso. An 1870 image of a street photographer in New York capturing portraits of pedestrians on a busy sidewalk. A 1938 photo of a barbershop in Rome with customers chatting while getting their haircuts. A 1960 photograph of a bus stop in London with commuters waiting in line, umbrellas in hand, on a rainy day. A 1947 image of a family in Los Angeles enjoying a picnic at a local park during the summer. A 1925 photo of a streetcar in San Francisco, filled with passengers heading to work during the morning rush. A 1982 photograph of a group of children playing soccer on a dusty street in a small village in India. A 1950 photograph of a milkman in London delivering fresh bottles to doorsteps on a foggy morning. An 1890 image of a cobbler's shop in Paris, showing artisans handcrafting and repairing shoes. A 1932 photo of a street food vendor in Beijing serving bowls of hot noodles to passers-by. A 1910 painting of a family dinner in an Italian countryside home, depicting the warmth of shared meals. A 1970 photograph of a newspaper stand in New York City, bustling with customers during rush hour. A 1943 image of a farmer's market in Mexico City with vibrant displays of fresh produce and flowers. A 1965 photo of children playing hopscotch on a cobblestone street in a small French village. A 1945 photograph of the founding of the United Nations of Delegates signing the UN Charter in San Francisco. An 1869 image of the opening of the Suez Canal capturing ships passing through the canal for the first time in Egypt. An 1883 painting of the eruption of Krakatoa depicting the massive eruption and its impact on nearby islands. A 1903 photograph of the first flight at Kitty Hawk of Wright Brothers plane taking off in North Carolina. A 1947 image of the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls of Bedouin shepherds, uncovering the ancient manuscripts in Israel. A 1969 photograph of the moon landing of Neil Armstrong stepping onto the lunar surface, marking humanity's giant leap. A 1931 photo of the construction of Christ the Redeemer showing workers assembling the famous statue in Rio de Janeiro. The Great Chicago Fire, an 1871 illustration showing the city engulfed in flames during one of America's worst urban disasters. The first ascent of Mount Everest, a 1953 photograph of Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay on the summit of the world's highest peak. The building of the Golden Gate Bridge, a 1935 image showing the iconic bridge under construction in San Francisco. The opening of the Burj Khalifa, a 2010 photo of the world's tallest building being unveiled in Dubai. The Great Migration in Africa, a stunning photograph of wildebeest crossing the Mara River, showcasing one of nature's most dramatic events. The discovery of the Rosetta Stone, an 1802 sketch of the artifact that unlocked the mysteries of ancient Egyptian writing. The bombing of Hiroshima, a 1945 aerial photo showing the immediate aftermath of the atomic bomb's devastation. The construction of the Panama Canal, a 1913 photograph showing workers digging through the Calabar Cut in one of the world's largest engineering feats. The discovery of Machu Picchu, a 1911 image of Hiram Bingham with local guides uncovering the ancient Incan city in Peru. The opening of the Sydney Opera House, a 1973 photo capturing the inauguration of Australia's architectural masterpiece. The launch of Sputnik, a 1957 image of the first-ever satellite being prepared for its historic journey into space. The Taj Mahal under British rule, a rare 1850s photograph showing the iconic monument with colonial-era additions and structures. The eruption of Mount St. Helens, a 1980 photo capturing the dramatic plume of smoke and ash from the volcanic explosion in the U.S. The end of apartheid, a 1994 photograph of Nelson Mandela casting his vote in South Africa's first multiracial election. The signing of the Treaty of Versailles, a 1919 photo marking the end of World War I in the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles. The Great Fire of London, a 1666 engraving capturing the devastation caused by the massive fire that reshaped the city. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, a 1914 image of the car moments before the event that sparked World War I. The construction of the Palace of Versailles, a 1670 painting showcasing the early stages of the Grand Palace under Louis XIV. The London Blitz, a 1940 photograph showing St. Paul's Cathedral standing amidst the smoke and ruins during World War II bombings. The first modern Olympics in Athens, an 1896 image of athletes competing in the rebirth of the Olympic Games in Greece. The Berlin Airlift, a 1948 photo of Allied planes delivering supplies to West Berlin during the Soviet blockade.